This is something so much more iconic as far as the history of football.
Red Grange.
Red Grange.
Red Grange.
They called him the Galloping Ghost.
What he did on the football field was just amazing.
Red Grange was everything.
Everything's done here in Imperial, Nebraska. In a town of 2,000 people, southwest Nebraska, there's not an actual stoplight in town. You have to drive about 60 miles to get to McDonald's or Walmart. Around here, I'm pretty well known for being the artist. There's only 2 of us in the country that airbrushed football helmets for the team, so kind of getting known nationally for what we do here in Imperial. We get the helmets from Schutt, then we sand them down to a 400 grit, and then we put a sealer on them, and then the base leather coat. And once that dries, we scuff them a little bit, and then we put the dark brown leather texture to it. I have a stencil that's actually flesh. So it's like a flesh, and then we throw it on there and give it all the texture to kind of, you want something that looks like a leather. So that's kind of where that's at. I just kind of darken it up now. So that's the brown. Kind of that darker brown kind of gives it an older antique-y look to it, you know. And then that's when we start airbrushing the straps and the stitching and the holes in it. It's amazing what such a subtle little accent does for those. Once we get done with the airbrushing, we put a matte clear coat over it. It's just one coat and it goes on shiny, and then like I said, as it dries, it goes to that matte finish. It's actually pretty cool watching that. Let them dry and then we'll ship them back to Schutt. Here's a finished one. It's flat, so it kind of gives it more of an antique look to it, I think, instead of being the shiny helmet. They gotta look good on TV, so you try and bring out certain details and accents and things to them so that it's a lot more noticeable. Each helmet takes about an hour or 2 to do. We'll do 24 to start with, to prep them and seal them and base them. And then we'll do 12 at a time with the dark brown, and then I'll airbrush 6 at a time. And then once we get 12 done, we'll go back and clear 12 at a time. Most of the other stuff we do is kind of a certain theme that represents either the school or something locally. And this is something so much more iconic as far as the history of football. Everybody knows the leather helmets and Red Grange, and this is what they sent me, and they're like, hey, this is what we want. So then I get to take the shell and make it this. It's a really cool project to be part of, and I can't wait to see it with the jerseys and the uniform and a finished product on the field.